Hello and welcome back to Wingot Plays Nomifactory. Today we're planning on getting our Tier 5 iridium plated microminer. But in order to get that, we are going to need these various ingredients, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different types of items required for this. If we look here at our crafting grid, 3 by 3, 9 is the most that we can use using the normal AE2 pattern terminal. So in order to craft this, what we're going to need is this ME extended pattern terminal. So step 1, let's get a pattern terminal. Very easy. All we need is some processors. So we'll get some engineering processors going. And while we're here, we'll also tell it to make some logic and calculation processes once we've got at least one engineering processor. There we go. Good. So you can also make some logic and some calculation. Good. Now we want that pattern terminal there. Good. Now we also need a nano processor here. Let's just make 20 of those. Go. And once that's been made, then the only thing left will be our package recipe encoder, which is from Packaged Auto, which, frankly, there's a few steps to this one. So, actually, I don't need to go back over there. I can use this setup over here. So, if we take a look here, package recipe encoder. We need a pattern encoder. And at that point, that should be stuff that we know how to make. This ME packaging component looks new, as does that packaging component in the middle of it. However, all of those steps we should be able to make. This package recipe holder also looks new, and it uses blank patterns, block of crystalline, ME packaging component, titanium, quartz glass. The only thing is, I don't think we've taught the system to make a block of crystalline, only individual crystalline blocks. So at that point, we should be able to put in all of these recipes. And it should just work for getting us our package recipe encoder. However, let's have a look here. So Packaged Auto wants a packager and unpackager, package recipe holders, and package recipe encoder. So let's craft that up. Unpackager, packager. Package recipe. Okay, and then the others we haven't actually even taught the system to do yet. What's that doing? It's making crystalline ingots, which will take a little while. Making lapis in an autoclave. I thought we had luminescence on passive. So why did it just have to craft it? Luminescence. Looks like we are low on phosphoric acid, because I'm going to guess that's what the problem is here. 2 buckets of phosphoric acid to make luminescence. And we've run out of it for replacing our Lumium blend here as well. So, let's take a quick detour and check out, actually, okay. I'll just put that up here, and then let's look at phosphoric acid, because that's what we need, isn't it? Yes, phosphoric acid. Perfect. So I think the problem is we've run out of apatite, because this guy here is meant to be crafting, and we just have no more apatite in the system. So we can get apatite from tricalcium phosphate ore, or I suspect there's a apatite ore, isn't there? In fact, give me a look here. We've got a whole lot of apatite there. All we need to do is pulverize that down. So let's see, let's grab a random pulverizer, feed it, put it under there. We can feed it apatite, and with how fast this is, we can actually do this manually. And then if we put those into the system here, it'll make that phosphoric acid, and then that will get our luminescence up and running again, at least for a time. And later on, we'll aim to actually properly automate the apatite, but for now, just going for a quick solution. Perfect. The polarizer's done its job. It can go back into the system. There we go. Now, meanwhile, I suspect this is still not done. So, the thing it's waiting on is luminescence. Where are you trying to drop luminescence? In a small storage crate, which will be in a different dimension, I'm sure. Okay, there's 18 there. So now if we give it the job again to make package recipe holders, that should, I would expect, just work. There we go, good. Now we take those out, and that'll be that step of that quest done anyway. So now we also need a package recipe encoder. We'll grab that. Perfect. Now let's go take a look what's happening with this luminescence. Why does it think it can craft luminescence over here somewhere? So this crate here, it dumps the phosphoric dust in there. Phosphorus, oxygen, water. 3, 5. I think it's because it doesn't have that circuit anymore. But what we'll do, we'll get rid of that so that it stops trying to do this old broken pattern. Perfect. And good, at that point we've got this, so we should be able to craft. Does that use a pattern terminal? Ah, it does too. Fine. Give us another pattern terminal. Perfect. And then that can go here with a flux cable. Let's put it here. Now this is our normal pattern terminal, so we'll put our extended there. Perfect. So now we should be able to actually grab all the things that this needs. So it's going to need 2 of those. It's going to need 6 of these signalum heavy plating, and it's going to need 4, 8, 10, 12 of these. Good. Now it's also going to need vibrant thrusters. 3 of those. It's going to need fission reactor and controller ports. It's going to need signalum micro miner cores, and I think it needs 2 of those. It needs EV field generators. It needs a basic quantum chest and a supercharged laser array. And I think that's everything. Now it just needs pattern. There, perfect. Now, this needs to be crafted in a blue, in an extended crafting table. But it's also going to need this supercharged laser array, which we have not yet taught the system how to make. So we'll have to come back to that step in a sec. But for now, what we can do is we can put this here. We need another automation interface, and we might as well tell this just make 10 of those. Good, go. Because we are going to need more and more of those over time. That said, interface can go here with that, and then we need an ME conduit there to connect that into the system, and we don't need that extracting anything. Good. So then we're just going to be waiting on at least one of these done. Good. Now, this okay, for now, the easiest option is going to be actually grab that pattern and go grab a crate. In fact, because this is going to keep coming up over time, how about we just set up over here a single crate with an interface, and you can make, let's make like 30 more interfaces as well. Good, that can have this. Then we need ME conduits just to connect it to the system. Perfect. Now we should be able to request a tier 5, and it will complain because it doesn't know how to make the supercharged. Apparently it doesn't know how to make a fission reactor port. Okay, let's go fix up these various things it doesn't know how to make. Step 1, fission reactor port. Good, put that there. Supercharged laser array. So it needs a reinforced mining laser and radon in a chemical reactor. So give me a chem reactor. Good. And we'll have to set that up. In fact, how about we set that up now? This whole area is becoming a bit of a mess. It really does not need to be, because all of these have been repurposed. So let's clean up a bit of space. I won't do all of it at the moment, but oops, that is meant to be there. So give me that item conduit back. Good. You insert on white, extract on white. Good. Actually that one's configured to push and pull from the top, so it doesn't actually need this cable, but it does need to exist. Good. You show me the configure. Okay, now give me a axe so we can get rid of this. Perfect. I think I'm going to need to put that piece there back, just so that that cutting machine can continue to run. But what we need is this chemical reactor. Where did it go? There. Chemical reactor can go there. It needs an interface, which can go there. That interface needs this, and then we also need a fluid interface, and then that can export radon. There. Good. Now we need flux cable just to connect those to the system. Good. Now we also need, that's a robot arm, we need a pump. And then we finally need to tell this that it can both input and output on the same side there, there. And then grab a pump. What was that? Have an expansion card? I'm not quite sure what that was. Okay, and then that can import. Good, we've got radon. Now that's got that, so we should be able to request a supercharged laser array. Good. Now it'll craft the reinforced mining laser, which is always a slow step. I'll need to see what I can do about speeding that up later. But as soon as that's done, when you're ready. Boom. And then that bumps into there, and it makes our supercharged laser array. Perfect. And then that can export. Good. Now that goes back into the system, and if we take another look here, so a tier 5 iridium plates. Seems pretty simple. Iridium plate is just made in a compressor. So we've got our compressor array over there. So interesting that this compressor array over here isn't showing up when I look for compressor array. I think it's probably just showing up as input bus. But tier 5. So that should be iridium fixed. Vibrant thrusters. I would not have thought, I actually thought that the system knew how to make vibrant thrusters, but I must have made them manually previously. But that's easy. That can go into there. Good. And then we need advanced micro miner guidance system. Perfect, nothing there is difficult. What is this? Fission reactor port. Good. And then, what's our last thing? I think there was one thing left. Field generator EV. EV, perfect. Now that gets to go into there. And last thing is we need to teach it how to make prescient crystals. I thought we had taught it how to make prescient crystals. Soul binder, vibrant crystal, soul shell. Oops, don't need that. So, with the soul binder, painting machine, slice and splice, painting, soul binder. Oh. Good. Now, you craft that. Good. Everything it needs, it can now craft. Perfect. And what it will do is it will dump all of those materials over into here when it's ready. And then we can use those to encode the recipe into this table here and record it in that automation interface. Now, I do wonder, is there anything we can do here to speed this up? Interface will not allow auto insert to insert items into the input slot that can't be inserted into the table. Interface will automatically insert items from the inventory to the direction specified. compressor actually does... Why are the iridium plates there in the input bus? Idling. And that's trying to make vibrant alloy plates, energetic alloy plates. Okay, so that is iridium plates. Electrical steel plates. It seems like it should be running. Now I think that should not have made its way into that input port. Okay, this might be a bit broken using the output as an input. Let's see, what do we put it there? Yeah, okay. We'll have to fiddle with that later. Now, meanwhile, let's see if we can figure out what is going on here. So, this CEF is full of power. That energy hatch is full of power. So the problem compressors. The problem has to be that it can't do that recipe. Cluster mill is similar pulverizer compressor. Ooh, it's an LUV tier recipe. I was not paying attention. Now, question is, can we make LUV? Because over here we've got this guy doing the IV, but can we take that a step further again and get LUV up and running? So, compressor, LUV. Looks like we can do it with the mainframes that we have access to. Actually, nano processor. Is that what we have? Yes, okay. Then this is going to complain because it's going to need LUV machine hold niobium titanium. I've not even tried to make before, so vanadium, gallium. Okay, there's a lot here going on that we are not going to be able to make. So it looks like we are not actually going to be able to make the tier 5 today. And so we might as well, and there we go, iridium heavy plating is the only thing left. So we'll cancel that request, all those components will go back into the system, and we'll have to worry about that next, later on, once we actually have access to LUV. We're not even in IV really. We've got a couple of IV machines, but we're not even really in IV tier, so we might have to come back to that. Now, in the meantime, so iridium heavy plating there, yes, you need the LUV compressor before you can even consider going there. Makes sense, okay. So let's instead go along here. So we need the IV assembling machine. And in fact, I have taught our terminal here how to make the IV assembling machine. And when that's ready, now meanwhile, one thing I did notice, so if we fill this up with IV, it's going to fail because it's not getting enough through that single IV input hatch. So we are going to have to restructure this a bit. Boom, perfect. Okay. So this one here, that, in fact, give me that. Call this assembling machine. Good. Now that can go there. That can have those expansion cards again, and it can have these various recipes. Now, that one there, soldering alloy. In fact, we don't need one called soldering alloy. Let's just put them there. Oh. Good, so we can get rid of that one. Now let's take a look what else we've got. So we've got some that are plugged into configuration cards. So here, this one here, config card 3. So let's go here, put in config 3. In fact, actually, let's just do this the easy way. Let's just grab a chunk of matter and eat it. And then this is going to be assembling machine 3, config 3. Good, so that's config 3 there. This can go there with those recipes. Perfect. And that allows us to get rid of config 3 here. Now this guy here is our cables, which is 24. Assembling machine config 24 cables. Assembling config 24 cables. Good. Now, we need this 24 card, and it can go here. 24 with that. And expand it and then give it all of these. Perfect. Now, none of these are being used, so all of those can become in energy patches. And that fluid input hatch is going to... Actually, I think we can leave that fluid input hatch. We'll just do this. Now, we need aluminum cables connected to all of those. Good. And then why is it not forming? I think it might not be forming because there's too many input buses on here now. So let's take a look. U and U. U are configured to 1. So we've got 1, 3. So I think 3 doesn't actually get used too much. So how about let's give this a try by repurposing this guy here. To have all of those as well. And then we'll see if we can get this running. Okay, so that's already a machine casing there. Okay, the least forms in that case. So let's get rid of, what if we get rid of the top row here? Is that an input bus? It's meant to be in energy hatches. So what I could do is I could actually make it here. So we've got 4 energy input hatches. And then that means we can put 4 assembling machines into here and get this up and running. Now in the meantime, what have we got here? So input bus, let's get those out of the way. So we've got our first IV assembly machine. Perfect. Why did it not complete that quest? Oh, it did. Now, in order to get this next tier of these quantum circuits, we're going to need to first go here and make a QBit processing unit. Okay, so we need to make QBit CPUs, which then will allow us, yeah, there we go, to make the quantum circuits. Okay, so let's look into this. So that is just going to be lubricant in a cutting saw, easy. This is nano CPUs with quantumized, both of which we've already automated. So a chemical reactor, good. This will be, let me just double check. That's an EV tier recipe, so we just need a chemical reactor. All the way down here. Okay, so that is going to need, ooh, what's gallium arsenide? Okay, let's take this a step back and see what it tells us we need. So we need arsenic. Arsenic can be obtained through the electrolysis of cobaltite and tennantite. Okay, electrolysis of cobaltite or tennantite. The relator comes renewably from a tier 5 micromolar. Cobaltite can be found or purchased. So I think we might have a reasonable chunk, well, 162 cobaltite, but that should probably be enough to get us started. We need electrolysis, which is EV, and can go, nope, that's chemical reactor, here, good. Cobaltite in a electrolyzer has no other input, and then it makes cobalt, arsenic, and sulfur. Perfect. Now, give me iron conduits to there, and it can extract. Okay, so it doesn't know how to get any of those out of that machine. So give me a 2x2 drawer, and give me a drawer key because I screw that up every time. Good. Now, cobalt dust can go there. Arsenic dust can go there. Sulfur dust can go there. Get rid of that. You're extracting on black already, so obviously that's too far away from this drawer. So give me iron conduits. Where's my Yeta wrench? Okay, you get to go there. Perfect. Now give me drawers the whole way along. Okay, now we need a drawer controller, which can go there, and then we just need item conduits across the back there. And it gets to insert on back. Good. Now these straws start going up and clearing that out. So we're getting arsenic dust. Perfect. So that's done. Well, now we need indium dust. Indium is a rare material requiring specialized bulk ore processing to acquire. It is useful for making indium gallium phosphide. If you were enterprising enough to discover and make a platinum group sludge dust for early osmium and indium, you'll be familiar with the general process. You need to purify galena sphalerite to get crushed purified dusts. These need to be placed together in a chemical reactor with sulfuric acid. Galena and sphalerite. So we've got to get crushed purified. crushed, purified. Perfect. Okay, so we've got some sitting there from our old original system. The new system doesn't actually do that, but chemical reactor, sulfuric acid. So, one more chemical reactor. You can make 4 more of those in the background. Good. And you move that other way. Give me my axe so I can clean this up. Give me the chemical reactor. Oh, I already had one. Now this gets to have that galena, and we're going to need fluid conduit, and then we need filters. We need both of these types. Good. Now fluid conduit input. I believe that said sulfuric acid. Good. Sulfuric acid. Good. So now run this along. Oop. And you give us, actually, let me just check that it's not getting up from somewhere else. Sulfuric acid. Good. Now that in a chemical reactor, oh, we need both, do we? Okay, fine. Let's grab a stack of that. And now I don't think we can take it back to the old processing system because I believe I defunctioned that. But at least we'll partly run. Now show me you. Well, it's losing power, but quite possibly this will actually run enough . Okay, that's making crusts fail, right? It's purifying it by ore washing it, and then the purified, I believe, should be winding up over here. And then what we could do is we could just put that up here at a drawer, at which point it will become available to our applied logistics system. Perfect. Now if we grab that, hop back over to our space station. Okay, so we need a limited item filter here. Set to purified sphalerite. You only need 1. Purified galena. You need 1. Good. Insert. And then our item interface, I think it's pretty full there. We need another interface, which can go here, and that can be set to galena and sphalerite, and then empty conduits. To there. Good. Now that should automatically put the sphalerite and the galena into there. Insert. Good. And we're getting indium concentrate. Now, indium concentrate with aluminium dust, which we've got stupid amounts of, in a chemical reactor, up to there. Good. Now, you aluminium, in fact, let's just do this first. Aluminium dust. Extract on black. Perfect. Good. There's obviously aluminium somewhere in the line already. And then you are going to be extracting on black. We need this tiny pile of indium, which can then go up to there. Perfect. And in fact, we are going to need 9. And then this lead zinc solution. What is that good for? It can be turned into lead, silver, zinc, sulfur. I think for now, we're just going to grab a quantum tank, which can go there. In fact, quantum tank can go there, and then we just need fluid conduit wrapping around there. Good. And then that just needs a, what was it? It was lead zinc. Yeah. Good. And it can import on black. And this gets to extract on black. Perfect. And so then we've got indium dust being made. Perfect. So then what do we need to actually make the QBit CPU? We need QBit CPU wafers, which needs quantumized nano CPU, which we've already got. And it needs gallium arsenide or indium gallium phosphide. Gallium indium phosphoric or gallium arsenide, which is made gallium arsenic in a blast furnace. I suspect that the easier of these two options is just going to be to go here. Radon we've already got, nano CPU wafers we've already got. So then it's just a matter of making these in a crafter. So let's grab a random crafter. That needs a limited ion filter. There. And it needs gallium. It needs indium. Actually, well, we'll fix it in a sec. And it needs phosphorus. Good. Now, you tell me there's phosphorus in the system. Good. Indium. There is not indium in the system. And gallium. Okay, what I might do, actually I think the easy solution here is to break this, to grab a compacting drawer and put that there, and then the compacting drawer gets this tiny pile. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, okay. So we can't use a compacting drawer. Fine, we'll use a basic drawer, like we originally were doing. We'll put the indium in there, and then we'll grab another crafter, which can go and insert the indium, tiny piles on brown and extract on black. Good. And then you just need to expose tiny piles of indium. Oh, this one here is not on the applied logistics system. A piece of Fluix. There, good. Now that'll fill up. Now we do also want some cobblestone, which can go here. Good. Now, give me a couple of these. So, downgrade that, downgrade that. You are going to be converting that, Good, and then the indium dust can go up to here. Perfect. At which point indium dust should make its way into here. Perfect. And then that is going to make this indium gallium phosphate dust, which might as well also downgrade. And then QBit is made in a chemical reactor using those. Fine, give me the last chemical reactor. Well, it's not the last one, I made more. Good. We need 2 inputs. So we need a limited ion filter. And then it is going to get nano CPU wafer and indium gallium. You get to expose indium gallium phosphide. You insert on brown. Good, and it looks like we don't have nano CPUs anywhere on this line. So, nano CPU wafer. Perfect, and then the last thing is we need radon, which we can easily get from our fluid system. Perfect. And that is going to make our QBit wafers, and then we just need a cutting saw. Cutting machine, yep, good. Grab our draw downgrades. There. When you're done, good, QBit CPU wafer. That can go up to here, and then cutting machine. It's just waiting on a nano processor. And then that gets to go here. It can import the QBit CPU wafer. Extract on back. You can expose the QBit wafer, and then we just need to give it the lubricant. Good. Now, I don't think we've got lubricant being exposed anywhere here, so that will then get it running. Perfect. QBit CPUs. And those can go straight up into this drawer. Perfect. So now we've got the IVS assembling machines, we've got the QBit processing units, where you can make these multi-layer reinforced epoxy. Well, as luck would have it, we've already been producing those. Apparently we've got 1,000. 1,024, just happened to have exactly 1,024. And then what does it also want? The foils. Perfect. Put those away, put that away. Good. So at that point, yes, we can make our quantum circuits, our quantum arrays, etc. But I noticed that this episode has gotten extremely long, so thank you for watching. Stay happy and healthy, and I hope to see you in the next one.